So in this video, we are going to see how to use the vertex and how to merge, how to extrude. So like just I will take an sphere. So now what the thing is, suppose if you want to go to the vertex mode, so right click, we need to select this vertex so that we can go to this vertex mode. And now what the thing is, first of all, we cannot delete the vertex first of all. So even though if you select the vertex and if you select delete, then it will not delete. Only we can able to delete either edges or faces. So like if you want to select the multiple vertex, you can select this vertex and you can hold shift so that you can able to select this vertex here. And also what the thing is, suppose if you want to select the entire loop of this vertices, means like say suppose if I select this vertex and if I shift double click, it will select entire loop of this vertex here. Shift double click. So either the left one or right one you have to select, means you should not give the gap, means like say until unless suppose if you want to select only up to here, then if you select this vertex and if you select shift double click, then it will select only in between vertex here. Like if you want to select some range of vertex, then you need to select the first one and the last one where you want to select. So in between it will select the vertex here. So if you want to select the entire loop, then we need to select one vertex, either this one or this one. We need to shift double click so that it will select the entire vertex here. And now what the thing is, after selecting this, we can able to like scale. So if you scale, the vertex is going like inside and outside. So you can scale this. You can move inside and outside. So you can able to change the shape of the vertex here. It's like shape of the object in this way. And if you scale more, so you can scale more in this way. And now if you press 3, you can able to see the smoother version of the object here in this way. Suppose in case if you want to select the multiple vertex, so if you select shift double click, again you need to select the shift, again shift double click. Means like for selecting the multiple, you need to first only shift left click, after that shift double click. Means directly you should not shift double click so that it will select all the vertices here. So what the thing is, first if you are going to select the another loop, then we need to select one vertex and again shift left click so that it will select the Control Z. Sometimes it will, okay, yeah. Now it will select in this way. Shift double click. So now you can able to scale, so you will get this, and you can move up and down. So in this way. So you got this flower kind of and also if you want to make it flatter, okay, see because the base is not flat, so what the thing is, we can go to the side view. Okay, better what the thing is, why I'm going to the side view, because we can able to select perfectly some certain level here, because see sometimes in the perspective view we cannot select right, sometimes it may select the like topper vertices or something in this way. It will not select the even rows of these vertices here. So if you want to select evenly, we need to go to the side view or front view so that we can able to select in this way, so that we can able to like restrict up to this area here. And now what we can do is we can scale in the y-axis so that all the vertex will come into the same line. See, actually now there is an like gap here. So whenever I use this scale, what the thing is, all the vertices are trying to come to the equal level. So when it comes to the equal level, then it will create a base here in this way. And even if you want to select one vertex, you can select one vertex. You can push it inside and outside in this way. So actually I am doing in the smooth mode. So when you're in the hard surface, you'll not able to see proper model. So that's why when you're doing this kind of thing, better you can be in the smooth mode. So you can able to see actual model of this thing, what you're going to do here. And also we have this cube. So suppose if you select this cube here, now if I select this two vertex, and if I move down, you can able to change the shape here. Like if I move up, you can able to change the shape. And if you select entire vertex, you can make it height increase and decrease in this way. Suppose in case what the thing is, suppose let's say the base is okay. Whenever you want to scale this, see it is scaling in the two directions actually. Okay. So what the thing is, sometimes the base is okay. I don't want to change the positions of the base, I want to select only, I want to change the height of this only the top of the box, then we can go to the vertex mode, or else we can go to the face mode also. Actually, I am explaining the vertex mode, that's why I'm selecting the vertex. But you can go to the face mode and you can select the single face and you can move up and down in this way. Or else you can select the vertex, you can select entire vertex and you can move up and down in this way. So now what the thing is, suppose in case if you want to scale this object, and still if I don't want to change the positions of these bottom ones, again if you scale, again if you want to place this, it will take a lot of time to it will take time to adjust this bottom here. So suppose if you have adjusted this object into this bottom, and if you want to make an uniform scale, so suppose in case I don't want to change the positions of this bottom side, so first we need to change the positions of the anchor point here. Anchor point means like the pivot point, which you are going to see. So what the thing is, the scale rotation depends on the positions of this anchor point here. Anchor point is nothing but the pivot point here. So pivot point, anchor point, both are same. So in some softwares, we'll call it as an anchor point, like new After Effects. In this, we'll call it as a pivot point. So now suppose in case if you want to change the positions of this pivot point here, we need to press insert button, insert. So what the thing is, we can now able to change only the positions of this anchor point here. So what the thing is, the scale and rotation mainly depends on these positions of this pivot point. So now you see, suppose in case if I rotate now, see if I rotate, see it is rotating based on the anchor point here. See, means like see whenever it is in the center, the box is rotating there itself, like it is rotating there only. In case if you change this anchor point, like if I hold insert and just if I move this, and see now if I select this, sorry, still the anchor point has to change. So let's say if I put it here. So now if I rotate, see now it is rotating based on the anchor point. And even the scale matters, means like see, suppose if the anchor point is in the center, like pivot point. So let's say I will go to the modify center. Let's explain what is it. So if I scale now, it is scaling from the center. So the top and bottom are scaling at same time. But in case if I change this anchor point here, like pivot point. So let's say if I go to the insert and if I place it down, okay. Here, let's say if I place it down. Now if I scale, see it is scaling from the bottom here. Scale and rotation depends on the positions of this pivot point. See, now it's scaling based on that anchor point here. So what the thing is, as suppose if I don't want to disturb this bottom, now I want this pivot point should be exactly placed onto this bottom level. That means like it has to snap to this bottom of this object here actually. Means like you can see if I move this insert, we don't know exactly we are placing in the positions of this vertex or not. So if even though if I go to the side view, so we have to watch it properly, like in this way. In this way. But it is also kind of time waste. So what the thing is, I want this pivot point to be snapped to the exactly to this corner of this vertex here. So like here you can see there is an option like V. If I hold V for vertex, and if I move this pivot point, now see it is exactly snapping to the vertex here. Means wherever, suppose if I want to attach this to the top one, then we have to hold V and move so that it will snap only to the vertex here. So now as we have placed this, now we will go to the move tool or scale tool, and now we scale, see, now it is scaling only in the top side. So if you don't want to disturb the base, then we need to change the positions of the pivot point so that we can able to scale it only on the top side. Yeah. So if you don't want to disturb the top side and if you want to scale only from the bottom side, we need to change this pivot point, hold V, and now we can go to the scale tool so that we can able to scale only in the bottom side. Okay, in this way. And in case if you want to change this pivot point to the center, we need to go to this modify, and there is an option called center pivot. Again, if you want to reset the pivot point, then we need to go to modify and click on this center pivot. So if you click on this center pivot, now you can see it has been gone to like center. So now what the thing is, even though the rotation, see, suppose if I scale this, let's say I want to create some door, and also laterly I want to create the door animation. So what the thing is, now the door will not rotate from the center point, right? It has to rotate either from this corner or this corner here, like, and it has been connected to hinge or something. So what the thing is, in that way also we need to change these positions of this pivot point. And also we have the like another key for changing the pivot point actually. Means like, see, if I press insert, directly it will be in the mode of changing the pivot point. But if I hold D, P for a donkey, so unless you release, still it will be in the pivot point. If you release the D, again it will go back to the normal. Means like you have to hold D to change the pivot point. If you release, directly it will go to the like normal pivot point here. But if you press insert, so still it will be in the pivot point. No need of holding the insert button. So in these cases, what the thing is, we can hold D and V to snap to the vertex here. D and V, so that it will snap to the vertex here. And again, it will go back to the normal state. So now here you can see, if I rotate, it is rotating based on the pivot point. Means like you're getting like an like door open kind of effect here. As I said, we can duplicate, right? So let's say if I go to the top view, I have created this sphere here. Now for the shortcut for the duplicate, Control D. Okay, so let's say what I want is, if I press Control T and if I move here, let's say we have this much of distance, right? Now if I want to create number of copies, we can press Shift D, so that it will create the number of copies with the equal distance which we have created in the first copy here. Okay, so like what we have to do is Control D, we have to change the position. If it is okay, now Shift D, so that it will create the number of copies with the equal distance. And now what the thing is, suppose in case if I select this sphere now, let's say I want to create the number of copies in the round direction. It's like, let's say this is a dining table or something. So I want to create the round chairs here. Okay, so what the thing is, I can snap this pivot point even for the grid also. So if you want to snap the pivot point for the grid, we need to use the X to snap to the grid point. V for snapping to the vertex, X for snapping to the grid point. So now see, if I rotate, it is rotating based on the pivot point here. So we can press Control D and rotate. Now what we can do, we can press Shift D, so that we will get in this state. And again, if you want to go back to the normal pivot point, just we can go to the modify and center pivot, so that it again it will go back to this normal. And also next thing, suppose if I select this cube, I have created another small cube here. Let's say I want this cube should be exactly placed onto this corner of this cube here, let's say. So like changing this thing also, it's a kind of time waste. What I want is, I want this corner. See, if I go to the vertex on this corner, should be exactly attached to this corner. So what the thing is, we need to change the pivot point of this box to this corner first of all, like D and V, so that what it is doing now, it has been changed the pivot point directly here. Now we can even snap the object by holding V only. Now see, it has been gone to exactly this corner. So first of all, D, we need, suppose V, now I have changed the pivot point here. Now no need of pressing V. because sorry, no need of pressing D because we are not changing the pivot point. Now we are moving the object. So we can move the object by holding V so that it will snap to the corner of the box here. So now see it has been changed. Okay, in this way we can do. So suppose if I want another cube, let's say like if I take a plane here, now I want this plane corner. Let's say this corner should be attached to here or something. Let's see. So what we have to do first, we need to change the pivot point of this object here. Now we have to hold B so that we can able to snap corner. And also if you want to align the objects in the center, okay, if you want to align the objects in the center, so let's say suppose if I create this cube here, and now let's say if I create this cylinder, now what the thing is, I want this object should be exactly placed in the center of this cube here. Means like manually placing is also, we don't know exactly whether we are placing in the center or not. So now what the thing is, I want this cylinder should be placed exactly in the center of this cube here. So for that, what we need to do is the order must be followed. We need to select the object which we want to align first, and secondly, we need to select the object to where you are going to align. Okay, so first we need to select the object which you want to move. Laterly, we need to select the object for which you are going to align here. After that, we need to go to modify. There is an option called align tool. So if you select this align tool, here you will get this some points here so that you can select this one. So now see it has been gone through exactly to the center. And if I select this one, now see it has been gone through this center here. And if you go to the side view, this center also, like according to the view, vertically, horizontally, and like y-axis also. Now it is exactly in the center. So simple, select this object. Let's say now if I select this one first, and if I select this one second, and if I go to the modify align tool, now this object will come and align to this center. Yes. So this is a like vertex. So vertex we can like shift double click to select the entire ring, and even we can select in the vertical also. Like if you select this and if you double click, it will select in the vertical also. Okay. So if you select the vertex vertically, you can select it. But the thing is here, it will not select entire circle because as here you see there is a triangles here. So if there is a triangle, we cannot know means like where it has to select actually. So what the thing is, it will select only up to the half of the side here. If you want to select the other side, again we need to select this and shift to double click so that it will select the entire this. So for multiple vertices, we need to hold and shift to select the multiple vertices, and we cannot delete the vertices also until unless if you press Control backspace, then we can able to delete the vertices. Control backspace. In case if you want to delete the vertices, we need to press Control backspace. So to delete the vertices here. But most of the time we will not delete the vertices because if you delete the vertices, it will disturb the model and you will get some problems in the texturing here. And now what the thing is, suppose if you want to extrude this vertex, extrude means suppose if you want to create some spike kind of model to this thing. So let's say if I select this one vertex and if I shift right click, and there is an option called extrude vertex. Yeah, shift right click, extrude. If I click on this extrude, see now the main vertex has been extruded and it has been created 4 other vertex. We got this sharp point. And also here you are getting some option to increase width, to increase length, how much it has to like extrude. And you can give the value to negative so that it will go inside. Inside. It is going inside and it is coming outside. We can use this width, how much sharp you want, like how much thin you want, and also number of subdivisions, like increasing the subdivisions in between this thing here. In case if you want multiple things, means like if you select the multiple vertex. So let's say if I go to the side view and if I select this vertex, and now suppose if I shift right click extrude, so we got this shape here. And you can increase like length, how much sharp you want, and you can decrease the width, how much thin you want. And see, now if I go to the smooth mode, you'll get this shape here. Means like the harder surface, it will be like a spike kind of thing. And if you press 3, you'll get this shape here. And when we go to the move tool, here we lost this panel here. It's like again, in case if you want to change the width or height, here you are not getting any setting here. So in case if you want to make a setting, then we need to go to the channel box. And here, as we have extruded the vertex, right? So in inputs, you will have an option called extrude. From here, again, you can adjust the width and length here. In case, see, if I use another extrude, let's say if I select these vertices and if I use this extrude again, length, width. Now, if I go to this inputs, now you got the another extrude also. See, means like this extrude belongs to the first one, so it will affect only the first which we have extruded here. So this input will change the second time what we have extruded. Okay, in this way. So it depends. Like suppose if you make another extrude, then you will get another input here, extrude 3, and you can able to change only that one here. In this way. So even if you want to create any spike kind of thing, let's say if I create this thing now. Now what the thing is, in order to create that, we need to first increase the number of subdivisions for this plane here. It's like if I go to the number of subdivisions. Okay, now we can select the vertex and just we can use the extrude. Like we can increase the length, we can increase or decrease the width here. In this way. This spikes kind of shape here. And for this, we no need of pressing 3 because sometimes compulsory means like sometimes we should not press 3 to smooth here. Means according to the model we are doing, because these iron spikes will not have any smooth things or something. So we should leave in this way like a harder surface here. No need of pressing 3 every time. And also what the thing is, see, whenever we use this thing, it's like if I select this vertex and if I extrude this, and if I increase the length here, and what's the use of number of subdivisions is, see, if I press 3, here you're getting the smooth thing. Means if I increase the number of subdivisions, if I add more subdivisions, then it is making more harder here. Okay, see. If there is no subdivisions, you will get this smooth transition. If you are having the subdivisions, then you will get this thing. So we can increase the width and we can increase the length. We can make it inside also. So now we got this shape. Suppose if you want to create any weapon kind of thing, means you know, right, any the round weapon. So if I select this all vertex and if I extrude, so like you can increase the length. So this is like one weapon. What the thing is, we can take one cylinder. It's like if I go to the top view, we can take one cylinder to create the handle kind of effect. It's like we can use this handle. What the thing is, I want to place this exactly in the center of this first of all. So what we can do, we can select this object, modify, align tool. So we can go to the center to center. Now what the thing is, we need to go to the vertex mode so that I can select this, sorry, wireframe mode. We can select that object. I can push it to upside and you can scale this. Now this has become some like weapon kind of thing here. But the thing is, still these are individual. But if I want to create a group or if I want to combine, but at present I don't want to combine, I will explain about the group. So if you want to make it group, you need to select this both and we need to press Control G for group. Yeah. So after grouping, still we can able to select only single object, but if I use up arrow, then it will select entire group here. Up arrow. Means if I select only left click, it is selecting the individual object. But if I want to select entire group, we need to use up arrow so that it will select entire group here. And for that group, I can change the pivot point. Like I can put onto this top here. Means like we can give some kind of animation later, like in this way. It's like say if I use this and if I change the timeline and just if I like rotate or something. So see now it is making some kind of animation in this way. So when you're using the animation, you can use this pivot point and you can make some kind of animation in this way. So in this way, we can create this weapon kind of effect. And so if you want to increase the width, you can like scale and you can scale it down. No problem if you overlap this model also. Okay, that's fine here. So, in this way. So you can use this tool. So in this way, we can use this extrude option to create this spikes kind of effect here. And now, next what the thing is, suppose if you want to create any segment between these two vertex. Okay, suppose if I want to create any segment between these two vertex, what we need to do is we need to select these two vertex and we need to shift right click. There is an option called connect component. Shift right click. And you have to press connect component so that it will create the segment between the two vertices here. The edge segment is nothing but the edge here. Means like say if you place the edge here, now see the face has been divided into triangle. You can like laterally future like you can extrude or you can make some sort of like design or something in this way. Right? Because if there is no edge in between here, we cannot make that shape, right? The triangular shape. So we need to insert the edge, then only we can able to do that. So in order to insert the edge, we need to select this both, shift right click, connect components. So if I select this common connect component, it will insert. So it depends on what I suppose if I select this one and this one, you will not it will not connect here. What the thing is in between also we need to select, then only it will connect. So it means like we have to select the continuous up to here, this one. This one means there should be like continuous. So now if I use a connect, then it is connecting here. Because see, if I select this one and if I select this one, in between there is an edge here. So that's why it will not create a segment directly here. Okay, so it can be created only to the next cross vertex here. That's it. Means you should not leave the vertex until unless if you want up to here, then we need to select in between vertex also. Then it will make a continuation connection in between. So in this way, we can like select the alternate faces and just we can like make an extrude option. Faces also will have the same thing like extrude. We can create this kind of shape. If I go to the smooth mode, you will get this thing here. So this is a like connect component. This is very useful even for any object. Like if you select this cube and if I want like any segment in between these two or something, you can select this vertex and just you need to connect component in this way. And also there is an option like to repeat the previous option here. It's like see, suppose if I use this extrude, shift right click extrude, and I have done all these things. Laterly, now if I select this and if I press G for group, so if I press G, then again it will repeat the previous step here. It's a very nice option to do this. Means every time no need of going into the like shift right click extrude or something. If you want to extrude this also, then you press G, so it will get an extrude here. Means it is repeating the previous thing. Means like say if I select these two vertex and if I use shift component, means like what to select connect component, then if I press G, then nothing is happening. because we need to select two vertex, right? Because as we perform connect component, so it will perform the last action here. And also like for extrude, there is a shortcut also for extrude. Means like for extrude, no need of going shift right click and extrude. So if you select the vertex and if you press Control E for extrude, then it will extrude here. Control E for extruding. So in this way, we can extrude the models here. So this is a base of the vertex. So in the next class, I will explain how to match the vertex. So there are a lot of options in the vertex mode. So like matching, like chamfer, what is average, what is paying select vertices. So I am going to explain all these options in the next video. So that will complete the vertex and later we will start the edges also. After completing the edges, we'll go to the faces. So after completing all the options in all these three, then we will start the modeling by using all these options here.